And now here's the thing. Let's get into it. Vince has a new contract. So that means that he's, with the mustache and the whole new look, he's reinventing himself and he's going to own all his intellectual property. That's you're going to tell the people, what some of the terms of Vince's new contract are with the WWE, but the best one to me, the most ironic, as the kids say, is all this time he didn't want any of the boys to own anything. He didn't want them to own their music. He didn't want them to own their name. He didn't want them to own their outfit. He didn't want them to own nothing. And now he writes his contract for his company, and he's going to own all his shit. How ironic.
Well, Jim, as reported on the wrestling news this week, Vince McMahon is once again an official employee of WWE as he entered into an employment agreement with the company last Wednesday, according to a new SEC filing. The agreement calls for McMahon to remain on as the executive chairman for a 2-year period with an annual salary of $1.2 million, a target bonus of 175%, and an annual stock grant for a total value of $4.3 million.
Jesus Christ.
McMahon also received stock awards in the amount of $4.703 million. McMahon will also be eligible for a severance package if WWE terminates him without cause, or if he terminates the employment agreement for good reason. As part of we'll get back to that, that's fascinating. As part of the agreement, McMahon retains the rights to his intellectual property and life story, including his likeness and name.
Well, he's going to be very fairly paid. I think we can say that. And 2 years now, first of all, and I asked you this, we were talking off the air. Is that a 2-year no-cut deal? And if Generalissimo Francisco Franco or whoever runs the place over there in Saudi Arabia, whatever his name is, MBA or whatever, if he decides to buy the thing, does that mean he buys Vince for 2 years? Is it a no-cut contract? Or then does a new owner have the opportunity to say, well, Vince, maybe we don't really need to be paying you all this money. We just bought this thing. I mean, has he installed himself firmly there? And then, like you mentioned, and I laughed, if he terminates the agreement for cause, so if he decides he doesn't like working for the company that he started and he founded and he potentially is about to sell, and he decides, I want to go home, just pay me all the rest of the money. Is that how that works?
Imagine if someone at WCW right before the sale happened was able to give themselves a 2-year contract at $1.2 million. How many employees of WWE make that much money? Does anyone? Employees.
No.
For an employee contract.
Well, when you're getting up to, Triple H or, the CEOs or the Nick Khans or whatever, probably, but still 1.2 plus a bonus of
175%.
I was about to say a bonus of that plus 3/4 of that extra. Yeah. Plus stock, which he already owns almost all the stock. They're going to print new stock so he can own some of that too. And again, how am I reading that, or how are you reading that? And I'm interpreting that if he's not happy, he can just say, give me all my money and I'll go home.
Yeah, again, I have to go deeper into the story. For good reason could mean a lot of things, and who determines what good reason is another story.
And then again, he just agreed. We saw that news and kind of it got blurred with all the other things that have been going on the last couple of weeks, but he just agreed to repay what was it, 17, 18, $19 million, some ridiculous figure that the investigation into the illegal paralegals cost the company. So now that he's got that cleared up, he's going to pay himself that money back over the next couple of years.
He's not going away. What are you going to think when he is completely all over creative again? Because I think more signs point to that happening than him being out of creative completely.
It's starting to look like he's the tentacles of Vince are starting to creep back over different departments. I mean, again, nothing that, all of a sudden we didn't see the fucking gobbledygooker last night at intermission, but the longer he's there, the less willpower he's going to have to resist getting involved in everything again. It's just, that's the thing. They probably were hoping, well, if he comes back and we're trying to rush this sale up and it happens quick, bing, bang, fucking boom, and we're out of there, that may be something people were thinking. But now the longer this goes on, we don't know what's going to happen tonight on the final night of WrestleMania. But the longer this goes on, the more temptation there's going to be for Vince he can't help himself to get into everything. But maybe the timing of the new employment contract and the paying off of the pre-existing debt was because he knows that the fireworks tonight are not necessarily going to be the end of the title match, but when he comes out with Muhammad Ali Hassan or whoever the fuck the guy is, and they shake hands and pose for pictures, we don't know. Then it would be a very fortuitously timed employment contract, wouldn't it?
I mean, one way or another, I think that's what that's all about. And he looks ridiculous. I hope he does come out tonight. I want to see that face on the big stage. What's going on there?
You're going to see that 80-foot wide mustache on the big Titantron. Vince, come out and play.
And then there's the other look where some people keep the mustache like the top of the mustache and then shave from like the middle above the lip area down. I don't get that either. The fuck?
Maybe he's going to do a Paul Jones.
It's going to slowly morph.
It's going to slowly, yeah. For the people who don't know what we're talking about, Paul Jones was a very hirsute individual. He had very black hair and thick hair, and he grew a mustache. It was like a giant, thick thing all the way across from down from his nose to his lip and all the way across to his cheeks. And then he was on TV, and we started noticing every week he would shave like 1/4 of an inch off of each end. And by the time that anybody realized it, he had a fucking Hitler mustache. And since it was Paul Jones's army was his gimmick, and he was wearing fatigues, it was starting to get a little too.
He's wearing beige. He was wearing Nazi beige.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that's when they finally said, Paul, go ahead and shave it the rest of the way off. You've come this far. Let's see. But anyway, so that's Vince's new mustache and new contract. And I understand that mustache rides will be available in the commissary at Titan Tower between noon and 2 every day.
The other thing this could be is just as simple as younger girlfriend. You get a younger girlfriend, they'll make you do crazy things like dye your hair black and.
But now, hold on. If Vince hasn't had a younger girlfriend for the last fucking 20 years, who the fuck's he been dating? Is it almost any?
No, but maybe
is there possibility that he would have an older girlfriend at this point? What would she be, in an iron lung?
Well, that's true. That's a good point. But maybe he found someone who's the right spirit, and they inspired him to look at things a different way, like grow a mustache and dye his hair black, like different things that he's never done before.
Are you telling me that he and Linda, their relationship wasn't a mustache and? One's he had the name tag of Clive and she had the name tag of Betsy, and they went out for a fucking night at the hotel bar, like on Modern Family.
I think they had nicknames of Klaus and Sonny. But let me ask you this. Thank you very much. Do you think Linda and Stephanie and Shane are going to walk away with their likeness rights?
Oh, I thought you asked if they were going to grow a mustache too.
Yeah, will they live? No. Will they walk away? This is an interesting thing now, because Vince is the only person we know of that has this kind of deal.
Yeah. There's never been this kind of deal before, specifically. They just, before they had actual written deals, everybody took their intellectual property with them wherever they went. But after 40 years ago, when he started doing contracts, that's been a steady fight to take everything he could from the talent. He's never given anybody blanket. I remember he gave Brett the rights to his Calgary matches.
Well, no.
I
think Stu gave him the rights and Vince had to honor it.
Oh, that's right. That Stu had given him the rights when Vince bought the library. He had to honor that, and probably didn't enjoy doing that. So there you go. I don't know about. I mean,
he needs sideburns. I think that's what he needs.
Mutton chops.
Yeah, I think he needs to like really just go completely different, completely crazy, swashbuckling Vince McMahon.
But now there's that swashbuckling again. But now what rights would Linda have to take? You know, she has the rights to 7 minutes of her taking the worst tombstones and stunners ever in history. Or Stephanie and Shane may have a point there. But would he be the ultimate heel and say, I got my property rights, but the Saudis can have Shane and Stephanie's picture on the side of their fucking billboards all day long?
When's Triple H's next employment agreement? That's what I want to see. Who else is going to ever get this? Is anyone else ever going to get this kind of thing where they can walk away with the rights to their name and everything else?
I don't know, but it's going to be interesting seeing Sheik Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I think they would just go Sheik Helmsley. Well, yeah, Sheik Helmsley.
And his wife Leona.
All right.
Changed Stephanie's name.
The Von Bulows and the Helmsleys referenced in one segment, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wrestling Talk.